You're sitting there in your warm, cozy corner of the world thinking you're the best thing since sliced bread. You never get any negative feedback from your employees. They must think you're pretty good. Please wake up to me. You're not that good. No one is that good. You're just not getting told the negative feedback you need to hear. No one ever goes through life without someone having a gripe with them. You need to get that feedback from your team, and this is how.
Just lead.
How difficult do you find giving feedback? Over the journey, I developed a bit of a reputation as someone that would give robust and direct feedback to my team, to my peers, and to my superiors. So I must be pretty good at giving feedback and comfortable in that. When that's not actually the truth. Whenever I had to give feedback, I'd be very nervous inside about how someone was going to react. And if someone that's perceived as being good at giving feedback feels like that, I wonder what your team feel like when they have to give you feedback on your performance. It isn't as simple as just waiting for that feedback to come. You need to do so much more. There's a reason we need to get feedback from our team. It's because they see things that we don't. You may have heard of the Johari window, in which there's a quadrant called the unknown knowns. These are the things your team know about you that you don't know about yourself. There is no surface that is perfectly reflective. We can never see ourselves as well as other people can see us. Let's look at high-performing sports teams. You can often see athletes screaming at each other on the field, giving direct and robust feedback to each other. They have to do this in the moment and get on with it. Anyone that can't give and receive feedback on the field is unlikely to be able to improve and change in the moment in order to help the team have success. There are gaps in our performance that we cannot address unless someone tells us that they exist. In my team, I had formal one-on-ones quarterly with my direct reports and informal ones every month. With my direct reports, my two downs, I would have informal catch-ups one-on-one with them every 6 months. At the end of each of these conversations, I would ask them the question, now what have you got for me? I would give them time to think about it, put a lot of energy into being neutral in the room and making it clear that it was a safe space for them to give me some feedback. Give them as much room as I possibly can. But it is difficult, particularly with the 2-down one-on-one conversations I was having. They would struggle to give me feedback. They don't work super closely with me, so they don't understand me and understand how safe it is to give me that feedback. They don't realize how much I rely on that feedback and how safe their jobs actually are if they give me feedback they think I might not agree with. The first time would always go the same. It would be, nope, I've got nothing for you. And I said, what, really? Like, nothing for me? No one's perfect. Surely you've got something, some area I can improve. And it would still be nope. Don't get into a false sense of belief here. You're not perfect. There's something wrong with you. You just haven't asked in the right way. The second and third time would go very similarly. But the more I asked the question and the more successive meetings that I asked the question, the more feedback I started to get in my one-on-ones. And it got to a point that people weren't waiting for my one-on-ones to provide me feedback. They had so much of an issue with me that they would pull me aside and provide me that feedback as they heard it when they had an issue with a decision I made or one of my actions. When you take on feedback from areas you're not expecting, you become a better leader. If you're really lucky, the feedback they give you will hurt, which means you're really going to do something about it to make a change. And of course, it needs to be work-related. I don't need anyone giving me any feedback on my one-eyed support of my various fandoms. A quick aside, this is bloody tough. You need to be really bloody resilient in order to take on this sort of feedback. You need to sit in it, stew on it, roll it through your mind. Taking on this sort of feedback makes you a much more mature leader, and being able to adapt it and apply change to the way you're operating is just going to make you far, far better in the future. I'm going to take a little break in the video here to say if you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the like button just to let the YouTube algorithm know exactly what you think of my content. Enough of that, let's get back to the video. This sort of feedback is likely to fall into three categories. Number one being that it's just a misunderstanding of something that can be cleared up with a conversation with the person then and there. Number two, it's something that you've already noticed about yourself and something that you're working on. And you can discuss what you're going through with your team member that has the feedback then and there. And number three, it's truly something that you haven't seen of yourself, something that you do need to change. And the person that's giving you the feedback is likely to have ideas on the things you can do to make a change. Use them to bounce ideas off them in order to come together with a plan for things that you might need to do differently. You need to ask for feedback, not once, not twice, but consistently at all reasonable opportunity. It won't be comfortable for your team, but you need to keep consistently asking them for feedback so that they can get used to providing it. And when they see that you take feedback well, they're going to start providing it more and more. Take note, the moment you don't receive that feedback well, it's going to reset everything, all the trust that you've built with your team. And you have to start building that up again from square one. Receiving robust feedback will help you in so many ways. It will provide you with the inputs that you need to help develop a vision statement for your team. To work out how to build a vision statement, you should click here.